What's up, guys? So in this video I want to talk to you about the process in which I bought my dream car, which is the car that I own right now, which is a Mazda Speed 3. I've wanted the car since like 2009 when I first heard they were coming out with a Mazda Speed 3. I wanted the first generation, then they came out with the second generation. I loved the second generation. I just thought it looked more aggressive, and I loved the hood scoop and the bigger spoiler and everything like that. I was just captivated by that car. I was talking to my parents for years, and I was telling my friends that I'm gonna get it this summer, and then it didn't happen. And I was like, I'm gonna get it this summer, I swear. Didn't happen. And I ended up getting my car last April. It was a tedious process, definitely. It was a hard process. It took a lot of time. I didn't think buying a car was gonna be as hard as it was. I've always heard, I've heard horror stories about buying a car from dealerships and all these things. At a young age, like, not knowing how all that stuff worked and everything like that, I was like, oh no, it's gonna be fun, it's gonna be easy. I can do it. And everybody else was telling me no, that I couldn't, that the insurance was gonna be too high, that my car payment was gonna be too high, and it was just too expensive and I wouldn't be able to afford it. But I ended up doing it. I just kind of want to go through the process of getting your first car if you're in that position, or if you're looking into Speed 3s, kind of just tips and things like that that you guys can use to help you. Hopefully your first car purchase or your purchase of a Mazda Speed 3 will go a lot smoother. So let's get into it. Alright, so one of the first things you want to look out for when buying any car in general, look for hail damage, scratches, dents, things like that. When I purchased my car, sadly, the dealership really wasn't professional at all, and I probably should have backed out, but I wanted a white Speed 3 so bad. I was really limited to what car I could get because it had to be a certain year with a certain amount of mileage, and it had to be worth so much for me to get a loan from the bank. This is kind of what happened, but I drove about like 4 hours away to pick up my car, actually just to look at it. Then I drove 4 hours back. So it was a long trip and a long process. But the first thing you want to look out for, like I said, is dents, scratches, and hail damage. And sadly, my car has a shit ton of hail damage. It's gonna be really hard to see, I think, just because the angle I have to get. Oh, you can see some of the dents. Some of those like ripples, those are all dents from hail damage. You can see there's one right there, one right there. It's all over the roof of my car, which when I got to the dealership, it was super dirty and it was really cold out, so I really couldn't see the car correctly. And I don't know why they didn't wash it for me or anything, and we should have probably done things differently. But I didn't end up seeing the hail damage until I already handed them the check for the car. But it ended up working out anyways, because I have a cousin that does body work on cars, and he said that he could fix the hail damage like super cheap. So that's all good, and hopefully I'll get that done this spring because I want to get that taken care of. There were some scratches and stuff, but nothing like really bad at all. No rust. You obviously want to check underneath the car, make sure there's no rust or anything like that. I also have a dent on my hood somewhere. It's just a little dent, but other than that, I mean, the car is like super clean. Other than that, there's no issues with rust or anything like that. You might be able to see also like a different in the white. So the bumper and the actual body panels of the car, it's a little bit discolored, the white on the bumpers, but that's just, it happens with age and things like that. Definitely with these cars, guys, if you know anything about Mazda Speed 3s, they need high pressure fuel pump internals. That is a main thing when buying these cars. Check under the hood. If they have like an intake, pretty much anything more than an intake, I would definitely start to ask the dealership or the owner or whatever if they have high pressure fuel pump internals, because that is a key in these cars, because it'll run lean and you can end up blowing shit up. So you just gotta be really careful. I think the first gen is a little bit better with that, and I'm pretty damn certain it can take an intake and maybe even more than that, but not really this car. You want to ask them. You also want to ask them if they've ever had a Cobb access port on it, what maps were they running, things like that. Just kind of general questions. But if you're completely stock underneath the hood, really you don't have to worry about anything because these cars, Mazdas, are known for their reliability and everything like that. Yeah, and mine was completely stock, so I had no worries about that. It was a little bit of a bummer for me because I was like, well, damn, I got to put more money into it, you know, to get it to where I want to be. Alright, so when I first bought my car, I definitely should have looked around a little bit more. The Speed 3 that I ended up buying was actually the first one that I looked at and like test drove and everything like that. Definitely when buying your first car, just be patient, guys. The right one's gonna be out there. You just gotta, you know, look, be patient. Weigh your options, things like that. I'm not gonna get too much into the financial side of my purchase of my car, but one thing definitely a couple things to definitely consider: how much you want your payment to be a month, if that's what you're doing, unless you have the cash up front and you can just buy the car straight out. I mean, that's the best way to do it, but most people can't do that. So find out what you want your payment to be, figure out what you're gonna put down on the car, and see how much your insurance is gonna be. For me, going to my bank and talking with my bank and everything, they help me out a lot. That's the main thing you want to go do. If you're taking a loan out from your bank, you want to go down there, especially with certain cars, like I was talking about earlier. My bank, I wanted one Speed 3 that I was looking at. It was a private seller. It was awesome. It had all the mods that I wanted done to it, except for like a big turbo and things like that. But it had pretty much full bolt-ons, everything like that. It had an upgraded stereo. It was super nice, super clean, low mileage. The only thing was it was a 2010, I believe. Based on the year, they would only give me a certain amount of money towards a loan. I couldn't get that car. It just wasn't gonna happen. I've been able to get a big enough loan for me to buy that car, so they told me to keep looking around and let them know when I found the one that works. As I was sitting down talking to my banker, I was looking up cars, found one that was white and it had the mileage that I was looking for. It was a little bit pricey, but I knew that I could haggle with them and things like that, and they said that they could give me the loan that I wanted on that car. Everything worked out in that sense, so definitely, guys, the main thing that you want to think about. And another thing is insurance. Like I said, if you're a younger person like I am, your insurance is going to be higher. That's just how it's going to be, depending on what type of car you get. Obviously, you know, a Prius as opposed to a Mazda Speed 3, there's going to be a big difference in insurance costs. I think my insurance on that car was going to be around $230 a month. With the car being under my name, that's what they said they could do. So what had to happen was I had to get my car, my dad had to be listed as the primary driver of the vehicle, and then we got his insurance cost. Downside of that is I'm not building credit on this car. I just accepted the fact. Like I said, we took care of insurance. Then it came down to, was I gonna put a down payment on it? I did not put a down payment on the car, which that's why my payments are $300 plus a month. And this was like maybe weeks of just kind of sitting down, figuring everything out. It takes some time. So for your first car, just like I said, you gotta be patient. Just figure out what works for you and what you can afford. Obviously, do not buy something that you can't afford. Insurance, my payment, and down payment, that's all covered. When you're making your first car purchase, or you know, a more expensive car that you really wanted for a long time, like me, just like I said, guys, do your research. Go to your bank to see if you can actually get the loan. Everything kind of has to come together in one to work out. Like good credit. If you don't have credit, how are you going to build credit? Or who are you going to have co-sign for you? Those are all types of things that you guys need to be thinking about that I really didn't understand, I guess, when I was first going in to buy my car. I thought it was just going to be a super easy process, but that's just not how it went. That's not to say it was impossible. I'm making my car payments. I love my car. I enjoyed driving it all the freaking time. It's so much fun. I'm glad that I ended up buying the car. I'm glad that I took that chance and that risk and things like that. Just make sure everything lines up perfectly or lines up good, and make sure, you know, you have financial stability and things like that. That's just how I ended up buying my car. It worked out good for me in the end. Yes, there were some bumps in the road, but I just overcame them. I wanted this car for so long. I'm so happy I have it, and I just can't wait to make more videos on it and build it to where I want it to be, and just have fun with it. That's the main thing, is I just want to have fun in this car and just drive the hell out of it. Just think about all those things, guys. I really hope this video helps somebody out there if you're looking to buy your first car, or if you're looking into buying a Speed 3. like I did. This video is pretty much geared towards younger people, you know. Keep trying at it, just keep working at it, guys. You'll get it. You know, just don't let anybody bring you down and say that you can't do something, because you can. So that's where I'm gonna end this video, guys. Stay motivated, stay positive, keep moving forward, do what you want to do. That's it. Take it easy, stay safe. Peace out.